What's up, guys? It's Chris with Recon Athletics. I want to talk about these. So, I'm kind of the opinion as MMA fighters, we shouldn't be sparring with these. Reasoning, I think these create really bad habits. I see a lot of the times, no matter what, I do it still when I'm in these. It's really hard not to create a shell while sparring with these, but it gives us a false sense of security. If you're creating a shell with 16-ounce gloves and your opponent is sparring with 16-ounce gloves, then yes, it's really hard to squeak strikes through. But when you're wearing MMA gloves, 4-ounce gloves, we don't really see people shell up very often. If they do, a lot of strikes still get through. So I think sparring with these creates a bad habit, and fortunately, we do have a really good modern option. These. So these have been around for a while now, but just now kind of starting to get utilized heavily. These offer about the same amount of cushion and support, so you can spar a little bit harder. And as a reminder, gloves are not for your opponent, they're for your hands, so you don't hurt your hands when you're sparring. You're taking blunt force trauma to the head no matter what. It's like headgear. It's not really meant to cushion the punches. It's meant so that if you clash heads, you don't split each other open. So yeah, these are what I think MMA fighters should be sparring with. Generally, people spar a little too hard as it is. I think GSP is the one who says most good fighters leave their career in the gym from sparring too hard. So we should be sparring a little lighter, maybe around like 60%. Leg kicks, body kicks, and all that can go a little bit harder because there's not really brain damage involved. But yeah, these should be what we're using. Not only for the shell, when people like to shell up or Philly shell, it comes instinctually when you have these large pillows on your hands, and essentially you're training to pillow fight. No detriment to boxing. I just mean the concept of the size. Okay. These are more of a tool that we would use if you are a legitimate dedicated boxer or kickboxer or Muay Thai fighter, because that's what they train and fight with. In MMA, we don't really stand in the pocket. My heavy bag video talked about that. Is we're kind of moving in and out, we're parrying, head movement. We don't rely on just shelling up. And especially the bigger you go, the less space those 4-ounce gloves will cover up. Down in the lower weight classes, a 16-ounce glove can cover a good majority of you. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is why these are generally going to be the better alternative to traditional boxing gloves or boxing style gloves. We're training MMA and sparring MMA, and we should have the option to clinch and wrestle, grapple. It's really hard to pummel with 16-ounce gloves. It's bigger space. It's really hard to free 16-ounce gloves. So these are going to be better for that as well. They're going to give you more of a realistic clinching look, more realistic controllability, because you can move your fingers in these, right? You can actually wrap up a wrist with this. There's not really much finger mobility in these. Yeah, these are going to be better for if you're doing it, even if you are focusing on striking for the time being, such as someone clinches with you and you reset, or if you shoot the takedown but no groundwork, so you just stand back up, you still want to have that option even if the focus is striking. So again, to highlight the issues, I don't want to spar with these. Really, I don't spar with these if I don't have to. If like whoever's putting on the class isn't forcing me to, I'm going to spar with these. Way easier to do the grappling aspect. Even if I'm doing kickboxing, I don't like to have this. It's really hard not to use this when it's right in front of you, to just shell up and hide behind this wall. It's a good tactic for boxing, absolutely, in kickboxing. It's part of the sport. I'll leave it with an analogy. Is it would be kind of like if you're getting ready for rugby, but you're constantly wearing football pads and a football helmet. It's just, you're going to have no problem running people down and shoulder checking them because you've got that pad on you, or leading with the head. But in rugby, you're going to train a little bit differently because you don't have those pads to rely on. So yeah, boxing and kickboxing striking are about as similar to MMA striking is to football and rugby. There's a lot of overlap, and you can take someone from one sport and maybe get them decent or good at the other sport, but they don't translate directly. Okay, so these don't translate directly to MMA sparring. These translate a lot better. They're a little bit bigger just to protect your hand than 4-ounce gloves, but way more of a realistic look. Okay. Last thing, remember, like, comment, subscribe if you like the content, and share it with your friends if you think it's helpful.